Hello everyone, this is Nintograph Studios here, aka NCSO7 here, doing another video on the Switch, and it's indie ports. Okay, this might be the first time I've ever really talked about this, but some interesting news has come out within the past week or so. So apparently, this one day, I was going to renew my subscription to the Nintendo Switch Online, as I didn't renew it immediately because I was short on funds, but when I kind of got a bit curious and went to the coming soon section of the Switch eShop and looked through it just to see if there were any games that seemed interesting that would be awesome waiting for. And then I saw it. Five Nights at Freddy's is coming to Switch. Not just the first game, but 1 through 4 as of this recording. And this is crazy. I mean, I already got what I wanted from an indie game on the Switch. The one indie game I really wanted on Switch was Cuphead, and they ended up doing that, and I thought they would end it there and not even tackle FNAF. I honestly thought that the console versions of the FNAF games were never going to happen. Scott always said they were going to happen, but it's been so long, I did not think it would finally happen now. And not on just any system, but the Switch. Now, so far, it's only really been confirmed for the Switch at this point. It hasn't been confirmed for Xbox and PS4 yet, but I think it's pretty likely we're going to be getting it on those systems too. And yes, the PlayStation 4 already has FNAF VR, which is a really cool game that I really want to play at some point in my life. And if I do, I'm definitely making a video on it. But this is not the VR game. This is technically the first time that the original 4 games are actually being put on a system that doesn't include anything weird like VR or anything like that. And this is interesting. And they're doing FNAF 1 through 4. So, the question remains, are they going to be doing more? Well, let's go through all the games and see which ones are possible, which ones probably will happen, and which ones just aren't going to happen. We'll start off with pretty much the easiest one, Sister Location. I think it's going to happen soon enough. I don't really see this game being that hard to develop for. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure on how the camera works in the Switch version of the FNAF games, but if they were able to make it work somehow, they can make it work in Sister Location, so there's that. Ultimate Custom Night could be an issue, but they could just map every action to every different button, so I don't really see this one being that bad. Also, Sister Location did very well for a FNAF title, really pushing the series forward. So I would say the Sister Location is a pretty easy one. It's just a matter of when. It will happen, mark my words. But what about Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator, or, well, FNAF 6, as I'll refer to it? Personally, this is where I'm not entirely sure. This game is good, but I don't know necessarily if this game is a big contender for getting its way onto the Switch. This one is a little bit more unlikely, considering this was definitely, I don't really know how it went, how the whole thing went, considering the game was free after all, at least initially. So I don't know how many people downloaded it, but I can assume it probably wasn't as much as Sister Location. So with Five Nights at Freddy's 6, they did end up putting the game on mobile eventually, so I'll give Five Nights at Freddy's 6 a possible maybe. I think it might happen soon, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime near now. Just saying. What about Ultimate Custom Night? Personally, I just don't see this one happening. I don't know how many people got Ultimate Custom Night, but I can't assume it was very big. And I've never really talked about Ultimate Custom Night, but I've only played it only one time, and it was for the video I made way back when it was the brand new game. I was not a fan of this game. It just wasn't my thing, I guess you could say. It just felt like a mini game and that. Now, Ultimate Custom Night is a good game, but it just wasn't for me. This was really when I started to see the downfall of the FNAF games. But I don't know. Ultimate Custom Night is a probably not. I don't know if, is it really necessary to bring this game back up? I don't know. maybe, it's a maybe, but I don't think so. I would say this isn't gonna happen. And Five Nights at Freddy's VR Help Wanted is not going to happen, don't be ridiculous. Even though the Nintendo Labo has a VR kit, I cannot see Scott and whoever the developers of VR Help Wanted actually wanting to put it on the Switch with the Switch's screen. I think it definitely could be possible, but the problem with the Labo VR kit is that there isn't a head strap for the VR headset. Now you can mod it to have a headset, like head strap, but that's extra work and doesn't even come in with the system itself, with the thing itself, so there's that. They could make it work with one Joy-Con, but it's kind of if you ask me. I think it's probably not. It's probably better to just leave it on the PS4 and PC. So there's that. But then we have one more game, FNAF World. Do I think FNAF World will get on the Switch? It's hard to tell. This game is also free, like the others. Well, not VR specifically, but I think FNAF World might happen. I don't know. It's really hard to tell what Scott's opinions on FNAF World are, because on the one hand, he doesn't necessarily like the game. He kind of considers it a bit of a mistake, but at the same time, he used the similar assets of Five Nights at Freddy's 6 with the whole like pizzeria tycoon sort of thing. So I don't know necessarily if Scott wants to put this game on the Switch or just leave it on PC. This game definitely seems very manageable, but I don't know if there would be a lot of faith into it. So I'm gonna give FNAF World a maybe, although it's kind of hard to tell. And that's pretty much all the FNAF game. Oh wait, we still have one more. Five Nights at Freddy's Special Delivery. Specifically the AR game that I'm inclined to talk about. Personally, no, this isn't gonna happen. It's supposed to be a mobile game. I don't see this one happening. So, no. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the games that, the other FNAF games that I think whether they'll come to Switch or not. But there are some things I still want to talk about. Specifically, how is the game going to play? Because we don't really know a lot. Apparently we do know stuff like with FNAF 3, you play audio using like one of the buttons, and you use another button to like bring up the cameras, and another button to switch to like the vent camera so you can see the vents. But how is it gonna work when you're actually going through the cameras? Like, I think when you're just in the office and like looking around, it's probably gonna be very easy. But the thing is, how's it gonna work with the cameras? Now, the game is apparently compatible with the touchscreen, which does pretty much mean that you could just play the game like that. But how's it going to work with just a controller? Well, they could have it so you could probably play with use the D-pad or something like that to alternate, but this would be far from intuitive. But considering Five Nights at Freddy's was kind of built with the idea of being a point-and-click game, and given that especially with FNAF in the later nights, you need to be a lot more smart and quick, this is far from intuitive, and it could definitely be a questionable thing. But I don't know. I don't know what the Click team has done. I don't know if they're going to just do something else, if they're just going to do it that way. I don't know. But it is still interesting to figure out. And here's a bit more of a negative thing. God, what is with the pricing for these games? Five Nights at Freddy's 1 through 4 on the Switch are costing $8 a pop. These are old games. I don't know why they're priced so high. Now, yes, they do cost the similar amount on Steam, aside from the first game, which is cheaper on Steam, which is just ridiculous that they bumped it up. Seriously, why are these games priced so high? These are old games, especially in terms of FNAF 1 and 2. These games are very old. Shouldn't they be coming onto the Switch for like $3 a pop, $4 a pop? Maybe even $5 a pop would be fine by me, because at least $5 isn't too much. But no, they're charging $8 for it. Well, I'll say one thing right now, these better be good ports. I don't want to see these games on my Switch not working well, because if that's the case, well, that's not going to be good. I don't really know what'll happen, but it won't be very good to see these games just broken. These games better be good ports, especially given that all these games, FNAF 1 through 4, are also available on mobile devices for $3 a pop, which is just ridiculous. Seriously, and those versions aren't too bad either. They aren't very far off from the PC version. Yeah, they do have their own sort of feel, but they are still pretty close to the PC versions. But $8, man, that is a lot. What is with that? Especially given their old games. But even so, I'm probably still gonna pick them up because I just love Five Nights at Freddy's that much. I'm just into the series that much. So, what can I say? So, in conclusion, I am glad that Five Nights at Freddy's is making its way on the Switch. I'm not just glad, I'm really happy because it's just another place I can play these great games, especially on the system that I love the most. And it really does show that the Nintendo Switch is really an indie machine. You can play pretty much almost every indie game on the Switch, like, ever made. Okay, not everything. DDLC still has to get on there, which I don't see ever happening. But, who knows? Maybe something will happen. So, how do you feel about this? Are you excited that Five Nights at Freddy's is getting its way on Switch? Or are you just thinking to yourselves, more point-and-click trash? I don't really know. I know I'm excited. I'm probably gonna buy all the games, which... back to the whole price thing. God, I'm a joke. Well, anyways, see you guys next time. Peace.
It's showtime! Did you enjoy the show? Well, time for the highlight.